We are recording.
Thank you, sir. Hey, everybody. You're here today. It's Tuesday again, April 15th, tax day. If you've not done that, if you're here in the States, I did mine Monday, yesterday. So just in the wire. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Here's the agenda. If you have not added your name to the agenda and you'd like to, you can do that. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's fine too. If somebody can do me a favor and just keep an eye on the chat, if new people come and they're looking for the minutes, drop that link in there would be fantastic. As you know, this is part of the CHAOSS Code of Conduct, so just keep that in mind. If you don't want your name and face on the recording, because we do record these and post them to YouTube, and they get thousands of views. I'm just kidding, they don't. But if you don't want your likeness to be seen, totally fine. You can just keep the camera off, put your name as whatever. We're good. We're good if you're good. Add a few more slots here for people. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Just want to let people know, I don't think we announced it here because we just opened it last week. So we haven't had a chance to announce that here. The CFP for CHAOSScon is open. If you are going to be out there in Denver, Colorado at OSSNA and you are planning to stick around for CHAOSScon after, it's the day after the conference, June 26th in the afternoon. Yeah, here's the CFP. Think about it. We would love to hear what you have to say. Here and there's just a little form to fill out, just a Google form. Pretty simple. I forget when we said we were going to announce. We have a date, but I don't remember when that is. I think this is open until May 9th, but I forget when we said. If maybe we didn't say when we were going to announce the speakers. Maybe we didn't do that yet. Maybe want to commit to that yet, but yeah, you have till May 9th, so think about it and fill out that form if you're interested. And also, if you would like to help with planning this is a community effort. It's not just one or two of us. It is a community effort. So if you'd like to help plan that, just join this. Oh, actually, I think this is a private channel, CHAOSScon committee. So just let us know. We'll add you to the channel. We are looking for a few different things, I believe. Somebody to do the master of ceremonies, somebody to do the social event if we have one. And then there's also tons of like support things that can be done. So yeah, if that's a thing you're into and you would like to help out, just let us know. We'll add you to that channel. Also, if you are going to be at OSSNA, we will have a CHAOSS booth. So if you would like to staff the booth, you are welcome to do so. You do not have to know what you're doing at all. It's pretty easy. Just talk about CHAOSS, talk about whatever. I can give you some guidelines. I think we've written up some guidelines for you if you've never done booth duty before, but we're pretty casual. I know some companies are, a little bit more strict on things. We are not. We're an open source project. We're pretty easy. So if you would like to, if that's something that you've always wanted to do, maybe, I don't know. And you would, this is a good way to start because we will be kind. We're not going to get mad at you if you say something wrong. Like we don't, it's fine. So yeah, just join this. We made this public, so you can join. Raise your hand. We usually do like spreadsheet of slots. You can pick a slot if you want. It's not like a full week commitment. It's like a 2-hour commitment at the most. So it's pretty fun. You get to talk to people and you get to sit down and then let them come to you, which I always appreciate. Yeah, it's pretty low energy, so it's good. It's a lot of talking, but it's okay. Questions on any of the stuff?
I will say booth duty is kind of fun.
It is fun.
Like if you like people 20% of the time, it's a good way to fill that 20%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and so a lot of people have done booth duty at companies, which is actually not always such a great experience. And this is totally different because people come up and they're excited about the project and they want to know about it. And you just chat with them. You're not getting measured on the number of leads. People know you're not trying to sell them something because we're an open source project. So it's actually fun, booth duty. So just to reiterate that.
Feel fortunate. I've never.
Yeah. People who have not heard about CHAOSS want to hear. So, you can just give them the high level. You don't even have to get super detailed. People who have heard about CHAOSS, I don't think I've ever heard anyone that did not love CHAOSS in all of the interactions I've had, hundreds and hundreds of them. So yes, it's a feel good kind of thing. So yeah, and as Sophia says, +1 CHAOSS booth duty is a great way to meet folks interested in what you are interested in. Yeah, you can just chat about open source. You know, everybody there is interested in that. So yeah, it's fun. You get to give out stickers. Like, yeah, it's good. It's a good time. So just join that channel and we'll set you up. And you'll be doing it with somebody else too. Just an important point to note, like you will not be doing it by yourself, which is a little bit intensive, but yeah, we won't do that to you, I promise. Okay. Any other questions, comments, anything? Okie dokie. Next one on our agenda, I'm gonna put this up here. Let Colleen go for it and give us a funding impact working group update.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Kaylin. I'm a co-chair of the working group on funding impact measurements that myself with Don, who's here, and our colleague collaborator Paul Sharrett from German government's Sovereign Tech Fund, or now called Sovereign Tech Agency, launched earlier this year. And we are a mixed bag of open source developers, open source funders, academic researchers, folks at various companies, other sectors that I can't think of right now that are interested in the question of open source software funding and the impacts that funding can have and how to measure them. I'll share the GitHub repo here in the chat. Here you can see the objectives. So, TLDR of the objectives is that we're trying to develop, create a space where people with shared interests, but maybe with different skills and backgrounds can come together to develop a shared understanding of this, but also kind of to develop frameworks, tools that can help us do this in a meaningful way. We have various activities going on. We've started developing a knowledge hub where we're kind of developing or kind of collecting key studies in this area and kind of key findings from them. And in our bi-weekly meetings, we have guest speakers. So last week, Sophia was there. Thank you so much for being there. I was on holiday, so I missed it, unfortunately. But thanks for coming. And next week, we have Nick Gates from the Open Forum Europe, which is a Brussels-based think tank. And he's going to be presenting his proposal for, or his and his colleagues' proposal for an EU-wide sovereign tech fund. And I have uploaded the proposal to this shared Google Drive folder, which you can check out. So if that sounds interesting to you, please come along. And another activity we do is we have this like slide series where we synthesize prior studies to ideally just 4 slides, kind of background problem, the solution, the impacts of the funding, and kind of key takeaways. And next week, Sean will be there. So thanks, Sean, for volunteering to do that. And that's just like those are the types of activities we're doing right now. But as a community-led group, we're open to new activities. So please do come along and share ideas for what we could do in the future. And if you have any questions, please. We also have a Slack channel, so please join that if you're interested, and feel free to share any questions there. We'll happily answer them. That's all for me. Don, do you want to add anything about the working group?
No, I think you covered it. I think we're good.
Awesome.
Anybody have questions? Kaylin, I apologize. I mispronounced your name as well, so my bad. Sorry about that.
No worries. My name is pronounced in 1 million different ways.
Thank you for your kindness there. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
This is a great.
So
this is a great one.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to seeing folks there, new faces, and spread the word. if you are not personally interested, but you know people who are or might be, please share the word. Yeah, thank you.
We'll drop those links in this agenda here. Let's just drop this in here real quick. And then the thing is just WG. Is it funding impact measurement? Does anybody know off the top of their head?
Just funding
Just-
impact.
Just funding
Yeah.
impact.
Yeah.
Easy
Like,
peasy.
And maybe,
short, keeping it short.
Smart.
maybe add as well that the next meeting is on the 23rd of April, 9 a.m. US Central Time.
Yeah, Central.
Thank you.
Gates, right? Nick Gates.
That's right. And Sean.
And the one and only Sean Bivens.
That's me.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that update. Really appreciate that. Any other final questions? Comments? Anything before we move on? Okie dokie. All right. Thank you again. Sean, I put this on here for you. I know
Yeah.
I just asked you in Slack, but I thought maybe it would be good since we are kind of the timeline of GSOC is moving along. If you want to give any updates.
So we had an unprecedented volume of contributions this year, as well as an unprecedented complexity to the contributions. So that's exciting. So we had 42 people provide a proposal, and there are a number of those that we are going through and kind of stacking right now. We've only got one slot that we're planning on this year, so we'll see how it goes. That's kind of the update. It's not very exciting right now. It's a
It's an update.
yeah.
It's kind of wild here.
Yeah.
How has the experience been during the community engagement phase?
I would say that the volume of participation that we have had during this phase has been significantly more than we experienced the last time we did GSOC in 2022. And it's, it's hard to know for sure what the reasons behind that are. It could be the awareness of the program. I think in some cases, it's an awareness that putting together a pull request is much easier now, that AI tools will do the great deal of this for you. And so I think it's a kind of a mixed blessing in a sense. And as we go through everything in detail, I'll have a more general summary, I think. And I see some hands up. Callie and John, I don't know who is first.
Yeah, I was just going to say this initial period, I mean, you have two different groups, and one is much larger than the other. You have one group that very much seems like they're copying and pasting a generic response to who knows how many projects. Haven't opened the link. You just see it in the chat, and you're like, oh, if you would have scrolled up maybe an inch up the chat, all of those questions were already answered. Or if you just read the GSOG interest markdown file. And so it got to be a little bit frustrating. It got to be frustrating on that side of it, of people where you're like, this doesn't feel genuine. And people messaging me directly, even though I'm not even put down as a GSOG person. But on the flip side, then you have some people who you can tell are very earnestly asking questions, trying to build it, putting in and real pull requests and different stuff. They might not be perfect and they might not follow all of the steps exactly, but there's two different camps and they're very obvious. And one camp I have a lot more room for than the other.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable and fair assessment. John, I don't know if you had anything to add to that.
Yes. So I'm on the mentors mailing list for GSOC. I'm one of the CHAOSS mentors this year. And there's actually been sort of an organization-wide increase in proposals this year. Actually, a lot of mentors have sort of noted that their organizations are getting 2 times, 4 times, maybe even sometimes like in some cases 6 times the number of proposals that they've seen from past years of participation. And so this year is definitely a little different because even, you know, even since the introduction of like AI coding tools, this year in particular has seen a market increase in applications for proposals. And so I think that uh, you know, it's something interesting is going on this year in particular that I think we might need to uh deal with in future years if we decide to participate again, I think.
Yeah, I think substantially more structure is likely going to be required if we go at this again.
Yeah, and I also just like I don't want to say that all of the engagement has been bad. There's been a lot of really great engagement, and I think that like Augur's like final push to really being like able to work out of the box on Docker was like kind of pushed by all of the new contributors. It definitely made me more motivated to like really get it nailed down, and we got a lot of feedback about setting things up on Windows in a way that we have never had really, or at least since I've been deeply involved, a whole lot of feedback on. And it seems like there is a lot of earnest interest mixed in with a bunch of, hi, I am interested. Where do I go? Messages.
Yep. I think that concludes our report.
Well, thank you. I know this has been an experiment to see how the process is going. So all of this feedback is helpful feedback, even if it's, you know, maybe not the best experience on some levels, but it's good data regardless, right? Like, so we
That's
can
right.
figure
That's
out
right.
if we do it in the future, what we need to change and shift around. So
We have learned.
yeah, yeah. Anybody have final questions, comments, anything else?
In the chat, I just want to call out this funny, I think it's funny coincidence because we use health in our name, community health, project health. That
Yes.
yeah, this seems to be a good trick to beat out the Gen AI proposals.
Especially some of the ones that are not at all about open source health and are about my diabetes, which I don't have, but yeah,
Yeah,
someone's diabetes.
yeah. I know we do get that confusion sometimes, but you know, if
Yeah.
you're gonna submit a proposal to a project, you might want to just do like a teeny bit more research. So yeah, good to know. All right, so the next 2 weeks or so are a little stressful, but after that, hopefully it's smooth sailing from here on out.
Exactly.
All right, thank you, Sean. Thank you, John, and thanks, Callie, too, for all your feedback here. Appreciate that. The last thing on the agenda, I just wanted to bring up in case those who were at that presentation right before this meeting, Cooper did more of a deep dive on the OHM data that they're working on to assign values to contributions and figure out how they feed into a project's mission and the things that are important to a project. So it is super fascinating stuff. I am fairly certain that CHAOSS will help participate in some of this prototyping, maybe. It remains to be seen how that will unfold, but I would really like to see some of it, even if we are, you know, just do a tiny small piece of CHAOSS, just to kind of see how that could relate to open source. Anybody who was at that presentation have any other additional insights to share with the community? I know we've talked about this project in several different working groups, but it's super, super interesting.
Just wanted to
If
say
you would,
thanks for all the
oh,
feedback, and yeah, it was really useful to hear about potential use cases at Chaos and ways that we might collaborate. Excited to see what comes.
yeah, I mean, we'd have to figure out kind of like what that looks like, but I would be personally super interested in it. So yeah, we'll make that happen on some level. People are interested in the links. There was a bunch of links that Cooper provided. I think we dropped them all in this data science. Yeah. So if you want to go poke around with some of the data, this is where you can find all the information from that. And then there's the presentation as well. And we did record it, I think, right? Did we
I would love
record
to see
that?
it.
Yes, we did.
I think we did. Okay,
We
so
did.
that'll
We
go
did.
on our CHAOSS YouTube channel as well. So, and I'll drop a link in the data science channel when I've done that. Cool. All right. I'll just put that in here. Info is in the data science. Hey, look at us at the end of the agenda. It's 26 minutes into the hour. We were so quick. Oh, I see Georg's typing. Here we go.
Oh, we lost our reminders.
I looked down here. I think they've all
Passed.
passed.
Oh, yeah, we should add a reminder for FOSSI talk submissions.
Ooh, I haven't heard that it was open.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're really good at not telling anyone that their CFP is open. So I think our chances of getting in are pretty good if nobody knows about it.
Yeah, it helps. It always helps.
So keep it under wraps.
I think I linked to it from the data science. Here, I'll dig it up and put it in there. How's that?
Okay.
I'm not trying to dig things while you're talking.
Okay. Okay, great. Oh, and Georg is posting some needs. Yeah. Do you want to talk about this a little, Georg?
Yeah, happy to. So we are looking for volunteers on the CHAOSScon committee. We have currently, well, we always have a good committee of people who are willing to help out and work on things, but we need people to take the lead, which just means keeping an eye on it, making sure things get done, following up with volunteers. And right now we have Elizabeth, who is coordinating the venue and working with the Linux Foundation to make sure we have a room, and staffing the registration table. I am leading the call for participation, the CFP process. And we still have a few other roles. It would be great to have one person to overall lead the planning of CHAOSScon. We have for this person an outline of all the things that need to be planned, just as a checklist to make sure, hey, we got this, we got this, we got this. This person would also be facilitating our meetings, which we usually have after this call. So it's a good role for someone who likes project management and wants to make sure we stay on task for things, and who likes to delegate. And then we have the social event organizer. In the past, we have had social events where we book a venue and have everyone show up. If we have a sponsor, then we can even pay for the foods and drinks. And so we need someone who looks for venues, coordinates with them, makes sure that we have the space reserved, that we have the dietary restrictions of our attendees considered. And the third role is someone for sponsorship. This is reaching out to companies that would like to, or might be interested in sponsoring, that have shown up in the community. We have, we always like to engage different organizations. We have the typical suspects that always sponsor or regularly sponsor, which we can gently ask, but we shouldn't overtax. So asking for new sponsors and looking for opportunities there would be helpful. And the main event is not sponsored because the Linux Foundation provides the space and the logistics. So really this is only one sponsor for the social event. And then we need someone who facilitates our conference, our CHAOSScon, the master of ceremony. This is someone who has an eye on the clock during the meeting, who introduces everyone, who makes sure the speakers are ready and they stay on time, and someone who then invites everyone to, hey, let's take the picture together, and just likes to walk everyone through the day. And I've done all of these roles before and I enjoy all of them, and it's a good way for anyone who feels called to do service and to volunteer, and we're happy to help and mentor along the way.
Thanks, Georg. This is kind of surprising. I guess people are still thinking about it. It's only been a week, but yeah. I'm just gonna put a note here to promote that more on the socials. Yep. Great minds think alike. Yes, definitely need to promote it more. What I will
I was just going to add that we got the majority of our submissions the day before the CFP closed the last time. So that's typically how they work. Like, I don't think I had like 1 or 2 in the first week. And then by the end, we had 24. So like we had a lot of submissions, but they were just, everyone waits till the last minute. So I'm not too concerned about that, but maybe promoting our deadline so that folks don't miss it.
That's fair. What other comments do we have about CHAOSScon planning? Questions, comments, discussion?
For the CHAOSScon committee members that are here, does anyone have anything to discuss today? Otherwise, we don't need to meet after the call.
I do not.
All right.
Okay.
Then I guess we are not meeting today. Anyone interested in volunteering and taking any of these roles that we still have open, feel free to reach out to me if you want to discuss and learn more.
Thanks, Georg.
Thanks, Georg. And Sophia's wearing her CHAOSS socks today. Amazing. I want to see a picture of that, but I don't know. I don't know how flexible you are at this moment. So to put your foot up in the air, that's asking a lot. I realize that we will not do that.
Yeah.
And as Dawn puts in here, FOSSI is a great conference. It's still sort of newish. I think this is the third year of it happening. Third. Yeah. So it's a good conference if you're interested. Take a look here. It's put on by these wonderful folks. Oh, and did they have it here this last year at Portland State University last year? Okay.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Okay, I just looked the first year where it was at the conference center. So
No, it was way better at the university.
yeah,
There's also
good.
an awesome farmers market that happens right behind it on Sunday. And
Amazing.
It was so great.
Nice.
The combination of having open source research discussions while people walked by handing out randomly sampled fruit across Oregon.
That's amazing. I love it. Okay. Looks like we're good. get us a little bit of time left back. So hooray. Good job. Good job, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a great rest of your day and we'll see you around. Great to see everybody. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
Everybody.